watched my brother freeze to death while the Arctic wind screamed my name. He slipped into the ice, and I could not pull him back. The cold took him while I stood helpless. That night I swore I would survive this frozen hell or take revenge on it. My name is Erok, and I lived 1,000,000 years ago when the Arctic one. There was no land of comfort, only endless ice that hunted my every step. We had no cities, no safe fire, and no mercy waiting for us. Hunger clawed my stomach, while darkness followed my shadow.
I watched my people fall one by one, and anger slowly replaced fear inside me. I wanted revenge against this frozen world that stole my family and my brother.
Every morning I woke, ready to fight the cold, or die trying. I believed the Arctic was my enemy, but a hidden truth waited for me. Survival was not hope, it was war, and I chose to become stronger than death itself. The cold did not touch my skin. It entered my bones.
My hands cracked. My breath burned with every inhale. One mistake, one slow step, and the ice punished us. Many of my people disappeared without screams. Every step felt like the land was judging my worth, testing if I deserved another breath. My body weakened, but stopping meant dying, so I kept moving. I watched strong hunters fall just by slowing down, their bodies stiffening as if the land claimed them as trophies.
Fear lived inside my shadow, yet anger pushed me forward because I refused to vanish like the others. Nights were worse than days, as darkness erased direction and the cold crept closer while sleep became dangerous.
I learned to stay awake by remembering faces I lost, letting rage keep my blood moving.
I forced my body to obey when it begged to collapse, using pain as proof that I was still alive.
Each step brought danger, but stopping meant surrendering to death. Nights blurred into days, and every movement became survival or death.
I stopped thinking like prey, and began thinking like something sharper.
Knowledge became armor, lessons carved into my memory through pain.
Every failure taught me faster, and every scar reminded me of endurance.
I remembered everyone who disappeared, and let anger sharpen my will. Fatigue no longer controlled me, discipline did.
The cold still hurt, but it no longer surprised me.
I began predicting storms, sensing danger before it arrived. Hunger twisted my thoughts, yet rage kept me moving forward. Sometimes we ate frozen skin or roots, knowing it could make us sick, yet refusing it meant certain death. Predators watched while we slept, waiting, patient, precise.
Fire became my weapon. Warmth became survival. every moment intentional.
I wasted nothing. Not energy, not food, not opportunity.
I read the land, understanding when it planned to strike.
Knowledge became survival, and survival became defiance.
Every step, every breath, became a calculated act of endurance.
I stopped asking why this world was harsh and started asking how to move within it.
Fear became familiar, no longer paralyzing, but guiding and warning me.
Hunger forced honesty, revealing weakness quickly and removing those unwilling to adapt.
I stopped chasing revenge with emotion and started pursuing it through endurance.
Each successful movement felt like stealing time from death itself.
I shared food carefully, rebuilt trust. Understanding unity increased chances of survival.
By enduring hunger and fear, I learned that survival was earned, and as long as I...
Food was rare. Animals were stronger than us, built for this frozen world while we were fragile. Predators watched from the dark while we slept, waiting for a mistake.
Sometimes hunger forced us to eat things that made us sick.
The Arctic did not care who we were. It only demanded endurance.
Fear and hunger became constant companions, whispering doubts at every step. Sometimes food was poisoned by cold, yet refusing it meant certain death.
Every shadow could be the end, and every sound a warning.
Hunger twisted my thoughts until dreams felt like memories of food I could never reach.
Pain and fear sharpened my senses, forcing me to move with care. Predators hunted with precision, taking advantage of every weakness.
Fire became protection, strategy, and a fragile lifeline against death. Fear became information, not paralysis, guiding every decision.
Knowledge became armor. Every lesson from hunger was survival. I learned to hunt smarter, waiting for weakness instead of rushing.
Patience became my weapon, and patience kept me alive.
I controlled fire like a tool, a weapon against the cold and predators.
Each movement was deliberate, every step calculated against hunger, cold, and danger.
Hunger forced honesty, showing weakness that could not be ignored.
I learned to see patterns in wind and snow, predicting danger before it arrived.
Hunger no longer ruled me. I used it to sharpen senses and focus.
Every bite was precious, every morsel survival, and every mistake costly. I learned to move quietly, using shadows and wind to protect myself.
I studied failures of others, letting their mistakes guide my path.
Hunger became fuel for endurance, shaping every action I took. Survival was no longer hope. It was action, observation, and patience.
I used intelligence, not strength, to navigate this frozen world.
Hunger and fear became allies, teaching me timing, patience, and control.
Every movement was measured, every decision critical for survival.
I no longer feared hunger. I used it to sharpen awareness.
Knowledge became my shield, strategy my weapon, endurance my revenge.
Every choice mattered, and mistakes could cost life instantly.
Survival was no longer random. It was learned, adapted, and earned.
Hunger and fear no longer controlled me. I controlled them. Every lesson learned was revenge against the world that tried to erase us. By enduring hunger and fear, I learned that survival was earned, and only the adaptable could remain alive.